remarkable statement, but I'm going to say it again anyway. Almost 30 years after Tupac Shakur was killed, the prosecution has rested their case in his murder trial. And this is after one final witness and more of the defendants, Keffe D's own words, were played for the jury. An electronic evidence specialist took the stand today, explaining a series of video and audio clips involving Dwayne Keffe D. Davis. Jurors heard Davis talking about his memoir, about his nephew Orlando Anderson, and then they heard the recorded jail calls. One of those calls, Davis is heard saying, quote, "I got blood on my money." Remember, the theory being that he allegedly confessed to his involvement multiple times. Well, after a brief cross-examination, prosecutors announced they were resting their case. So the defense is going to begin calling their witnesses when court resumes tomorrow. Davis has pled not guilty, denies having anything to do with Tupac's murder. His defense lawyer claims his client made everything up. But at the center of the prosecution's case is a question that takes us back nearly 30 years. What set this killing in motion? Well, prosecutors claim you got to go back just hours before Tupac was shot to a fight inside the MGM Grand you see right there. This is after the Mike Tyson fight. Tupac and members of his entourage allegedly attacked Orlando Anderson, Keffe D's nephew. And prosecutors allege that that MGM beating set a deadly revenge plot in motion and that Keffe D helped orchestrate it. So the question is, what really happened inside that casino? What did MGM security know? Well, joining me now is someone who was at the MGM Grand that night, Doug Poppa, former MGM investigator who reported directly to the head of security. Thanks for coming on. Take us back. I mean, how did a fight like this happen in the MGM Grand? What was the security like? And by the way, were you there? Were you near where the fight happened?
No, when the fight occurred, I was in the Grand Garden Arena. I was doing celebrity escorts. And later on, I came out. I heard the traffic over the radio about an altercation somewhere in the elevator core. The MGM that night, we had several hundred security, plus they contracted at the time Metro police officers who were off duty. So I'm going to say between the Metro police and the security, maybe 600, 700, maybe more on the property. You got to remember that the Grand Garden Arena held about 15,000 plus seats.
Yeah.
So once the fight's over, those people are piling into the casino. So we had a large security force. And you can actually see, if you look at the video, once the fight there is going on, you'll start seeing security officers, other ones coming in that were in the area. People had different security posts. Security was very tight at these fights because
did you hear at any point that Tupac was involved? Did they say, hey, Tupac was involved in this fight by the elevator bank?
I didn't hear it on the radio then, but later on when I was in the casino, people had recognized Tupac. And then a lot of his followers and stuff, or people in the casino had seen him. And you see that large crowd going out the door. That was a large crowd of his followers, not his followers, but people said that's Tupac. So we didn't know that Tupac was involved that night. It wasn't, other than if Tupac was involved because he was a celebrity, it wasn't really a big deal as far as the fight, other than they were kicking this guy on the ground. It wasn't really much of a fight. The guy was just getting kicked.
Yeah, well, and then Tupac gets shot. And I'm curious, how soon did you hear about the shooting, and did you or the MGM staff make the connection right away? Wait a minute, we knew he was involved in an altercation earlier in the night in our hotel?
I was on property at these fights always to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning the following day, which would have been early Sunday morning. It was hours later when word spread through the casino that Tupac had been shot. Now, like I said, that was early Sunday morning. I was off on Sunday. I was off. And I came back on Monday. Word was spreading through the casino that Orlando Anderson had shot Tupac in revenge for getting the beatdown in the casino. That was going through the casino, through Las Vegas, that people were associated with different groups. That was the talk that was going on.
So now, all this time later, do you believe, after everything you've seen from this trial, do you believe Keffe D was behind this? Do you believe Keffe D orchestrated it as a revenge plot for what happened to Orlando Anderson? I mean, the question's also going to be, do you think there's enough to convict him from his own words?
From being a former detective, law enforcement officer, I believe Keffe D was involved. I believe he was in the vehicle, and I believe it was revenge for his nephew getting beat up, Orlando, in the casino. That's my belief. Now, is that going to be enough for a jury? Because one thing I was watching the trial from the start is I didn't see a lot of evidence or any evidence, maybe I missed something, where they could put Keffe in Las Vegas or in that vehicle. Remember, the vehicle is gone, the gun is gone. So I didn't see any testimony, unless I missed something, where they put him actually in Las Vegas, because he said he wasn't even in Las Vegas. If they could put him in Vegas. But then again, This guy's been running his mouth for years, saying he did the murder, he was involved, it was revenge for what happened to his nephew. And then he also contradicted himself. The other day, I was watching the testimony, the transcript of the interview with one of the producers from the documentaries, and he's saying, I wasn't in Las Vegas, had nothing to do with it. And now his attorney is trying to say he's just got a big mouth. He was trying to do this for money. He wrote a book, and it's all nonsense. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Getting back to the casino that night, in addition to the Metro Police and the security force, Metro also had their units who were working that night, the specialized units, the crime scene, the tourist crimes unit, the vice, narcotics, intelligence. They were all on property also. And including at every Tyson fight, we had gang units and intelligence officers, both federal and state, from different various parts of the country that would come out to the MGM and just hang around and look, looking for gang members or somebody they had an arrest for. So there was a lot of law enforcement on the property. That was every Tyson fight. I mean, we always had fights during fights in casinos. They were just scuffles, then they would break up. What made this thing interesting is when people said it was Tupac that was kicking him. And that came in Monday when I heard it. They said it was Tupac that was kicking him with somebody else. And that word spread really fast. But yeah, on Monday, word was out that Orlando Anderson had shot Tupac as revenge.
And if you believe the prosecution's narrative, if that fight never happened, Tupac might still be alive. By the way, before I let you go, were you around when they had the amusement park at the MGM? I used to go as a kid. Were you around when that thing was amazing? Did you
that opened in '93, and it was there until I left in '99. Then they got rid of it. Now it's I think mansions or something.
I know. I used to go down the slide, the big roller coaster, the water slide. It was amazing. Anyway, topic for a conversation for another day. Doug Poppa, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.